Welcome to Worms and Warriors, and welcome to a brand new campaign of Grand Tactician, the Civil War 1861. This is our 5th or 6th campaign that we're playing in this game. If you took part in the vote for which campaign this would be, then thanks very much for that. Just a quick heads up that the winner of the vote was the 1861 summer start for the CSA, with 43% of the vote, I want to say, at time of recording. The vote is now closed, of course, but again, thanks again for taking part in that. So, just as we start this campaign, this new campaign, I just wanted to point out that patch 1.09 has just gone live. It went live on the 10th of September. It's the 12th today. So that's nice. So we're going to be starting with that. I may do a quick update video on patch 1.09 with the new updates, but I have done a couple in between, like 1.0905 and stuff like that, detailing the changes. Basically, there's been a few bug fixes, and the full details are available on Steam, of course, and you can go and read that if I don't do an update. But basically, it should make for a better game, I hope. Alright, so it's going to be a longer video today. So if you are new here, then just bear in mind that all my videos are chaptered. So if there are any parts of it that you don't want to watch, you can just skip right through to wherever it is you want to go to. However, if you're here for the long view, then, you know, check it out. So we're going to get this set up here. I haven't really thought about any of this stuff. We're going to play as the CSA, of course, as per the vote, and we're going to do the summer 1861 scenario. I had toyed with the idea of offering the spring 61, but I think the spring start is just, it doesn't add anything to the game for me. It's more kind of waiting around, and it makes the game boring to start with. Really boring, and I'm not a fan of the spring 61 stuff. I mean, I know some people are, but personally I'm not. So we're going to go with the summer 61 as per the vote. So here's the details, of course. Over by Christmas. Yeah, well, it might be. It depends how the AI does, I suppose. But historically, of course, this was the consensus at the start of the war, but it didn't happen, as I'm sure you're all aware. The bombardment of Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, South Carolina, ignited the American Civil War on the 12th of April, 1861, after President Lincoln's call for 75,000 militia to serve for 3 months. And on it goes. If you want to read that, obviously, then, you know, pause the video and you can do that. I'll just scroll through this. Yeah, there we are. So, Irvin McDowell appointed to lead the Union armies in the East. If you want to read it, then go right ahead, but I'm not reading that again. I've read it many times. So, at the start of this campaign, 95 morale for both sides. Experience, we've got 9, they've got 8. Size of armies, we start with about 50,000, they start with around 75,000. Obviously, ships, we're way outnumbered. The momentum is with the Confederacy. We're not going to play on very easy, we're going to play on very hard. But aggressiveness, now in the last campaign, I had this turned up to very high, and I don't think that's the way to go with it. The AI is fairly aggressive in this game as it is, and if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't think it's in the AI's interest to be as aggressive as they are. It's detrimental to the AI's behaviour. So personally, we're going to go with elevated. So this next one up, I did toy with mediocre. I'm not sure though, but I think elevated is fine. So we're going to go very hard difficulty, elevated aggressiveness. And we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's not too bad. Policies. Now what are we going to go with here? Old Dominion. It's a must. Virginia votes to secede from the Union and joins the Confederacy. This is a must for me. Kansas, a slave state. Now, this is always one I'm slightly interested in. I've never chosen it, but I don't think I will either. Organised pro-slavery immigration and cross-border intrusions into the Kansas territory. Southern support in Kansas plus 25, and it will become a slave state. Southern support in all slave states plus 5. So it's good for the support, of course. It's one to bear in mind. Maybe we'll try that one. I've never done that one. Slavery to the west. Encourage pro-slavery pioneers to settle in the Arizona and New Mexico territories. Southern support in these territories plus 25, population plus 25, and recruitment allowed. Trade capacity from Texas to the western states and territories doubled. And due to the increased trade volumes, all ports in Texas start with a higher upgrade level. So again, it's another interesting one. Apostles of Disunion. Official support for the pro-slavery fire eaters will increase southern support in all slave states by plus 20, but will also increase northern support in all free states by plus 10. So it's got, like, again, it's another good one. These are all good policies. Filibustering. Provide support to large-scale southern incursion in Latin America. Southern military experience is increased by plus 5. Cuba will be under southern control, increasing trade and allowing recruitment. Yeah, I've done that one before, and it is handy to have those extra recruits. King Cotton. All plantations will start the campaign with a slightly higher upgrade level, support in all slave states +5, European intervention level +20. This policy is required for level 3 to 4 agriculture policies. Industrialization. Well, southern industrialization. All heavy industries will start the campaign with a high upgrade level. The Confederacy will start the campaign with more railroad lines built. Immigration from Europe increases population within the Confederacy by 25%, but lowers unity due to religious unrest and resentment towards slavery within the immigrant population, reducing national morale by -5. This policy is required for level 3 and 4 industrialization policies and the abolition of slavery later in the campaign. So this is an important one. I usually go with this one. I'm not going to do that this time. We're not going to go industrialization. I'm also going to keep King Cotton on because of the European intervention level +20. I'm going to try and get European intervention if I can. Not that we really needed to beat them, but I think we'll try. We'll see if we can get it done. I've never ever had the European intervention, so I'm going to have a go at that if it can be done. I think it'll be difficult. Arms agents. Organise the movement of weapons to southern armories and forts. The number of weapons available to the Confederacy is increased by 50%, and Springfield weapon types can be made available for production in the South's industry. Union morale -5, so that is a good one. Alliance with the natives. Approach the Native Americans to ally with them against the northern oppressors. Confederate support in Indian Territory +25. Recruitment from the many Indian tribes living there is made possible, and the number of volunteers is doubled. Now, that is a good one, and the Indian troops are handy, the native troops. So, I don't know. I'm tempted to take it off, though. What else do we have here? Southern Pacific. Support the construction of the Southern Pacific Railroad connecting the Atlantic and Pacific coasts and increasing trade with the western states. The campaign will start with the Southern Pacific Railroad build and the Confederacy controlling some of the trade to the Pacific coast. CSA credit rating +2. Railroad transport capacity and construction speed +25%. An important one for the economy, for sure. I'm going to take off the alliance with the Native Americans. We're still going to be able to recruit from there, and I think we should still have okay support. We'll see how that goes. I want to try something a little bit different, and I usually always have this one on, so let's take that one off. We're going to go Old Dominion, slaves to the west, and King Cotton. Let's try that, okay? So we're going to roll with this. So we're going to put Abe on very hard difficulty, elevated aggressiveness, 1861, Old Dominion, slaves to the west, and King Cotton. Let's do this. So as this is in episode 1, like I say, it's going to be a slightly longer episode than usual. It'll probably run to somewhere around an hour. It'll take me a lot longer to set this up, of course, but I won't record all of it. So what I'm going to do here, once we load it in, we'll have a quick look through everything. And then I'm going to start changing some of the units over to viewer-requested units. So that the new names, new commanders, that sort of thing. If you are new here, or if you're a returning viewer and you haven't already requested a unit, then why not go ahead and do that, and I'll pop your unit in the game and you can follow them along through the campaign. If you want a unit in the game, all you need to do is tell me the name for the unit. It needs to be something kind of historical. I don't want any like crazy names, like, you know, I want it to be, I don't want it to sound too stupid, but like, just keep it kind of period relevant. Select your unit, select your commander, request some weapons. If I can do them, I will. If I can't, then you won't get those weapons. And let me know which theatre you want them in. So that's that. I'm not going to watch the video. If you want to watch the videos, you can fire your own campaign up. Okay, so map started a bit skewer. So already the map actually, I don't know if that's my imagination, but it seems to look a little sharper. I don't know if that's something from 1.09 or something, but it looks good. It looks nice and sharp. Anyway, and we've got the readiness symbols, of course, on these individual units. So the way things start off here, we start off with a bunch of armies in the field. The armies are really core because we haven't come with the full army system yet. That'll come once we unlock army organization. So what we start off with, the Army of the Potomac. That's the Confederate Army of the Potomac, of course. We'll rename that. The Army of the Shenandoah under Joe Johnston. Potomac Army was under Beauregard. Then we have the Western Army under McCulloch. Missouri State Guard under Sterling Price. The Army of the Northwest under Garnett. The Hampton Division under Magruder, which, I mean, these units are tiny. The Army of Florida, it's sort of like a reserve force down here under Bragg. And then we have Polk's Command in Tennessee, ready to strike up into Kentucky. But anyway, so with those new things that we had, let's have a quick look here at our recruitment just for an example. Okay, so the Indian Territory, we don't have that many recruits there. I know some of you guys like Indian Territory troops, and I will get to them, but we'll have to wait till we get some more recruits through because I didn't choose that, the Native American Alliance thing. So we've gone with some different things. We've gone with the Arizona Territory being higher support and giving us volunteers, but I mean, we've got 114, so maybe that was a waste of time. But I've never tried this one, and I wanted to try it, and I like to try the new things in this. What else? We have Kansas. No, we didn't do Kansas. What was it? Oh yeah, New Mexico Territory. Okay, so we've got some troops available from New Mexico. That's pretty cool. Alright, so awesome. So we've got guys from Texas available, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, 7,000 guys from there, almost Louisiana. We've got 4,000, Kentucky 4,000, but 45 support for those guys. Same with Kansas, 35 support. So these dudes are not really up to the job putting into field armies. I like to have at least 50. I mean, Kentucky 45. You could maybe just go with that, but I'll probably use these guys for garrison troops. Delaware, yeah, that's no good. Connecticut support 5. Surprised to see that. But anyway, so yeah, we've got 43,000 troops available to recruit. We won't recruit them all now. What I will do, I'm going to go through. I'm going to change in the viewer units from their requested areas, so from their requested states. And I'll cut back in once that's done, because I'm sure you guys don't want to see that, but I'll cut back in after that. Then we'll organise the armies, and I'll do that on camera to see what you guys think of it, and you know, it might give some hints and tips to people who aren't as familiar with the game. It might not, but you know, if it doesn't, then if you don't want to watch that, you can skip ahead. use the chapters. But anyway, so I'm going to cut out here, and I'm going to put the viewer requested units in. There's quite a few, so it'll take us a little while, but obviously it'll be seconds for you guys. I'll be back in a moment. All right then, so here we are, back to it. For what you will have been a few seconds was for me about an hour. So what I've done is I have replaced all the garrisons, well, all the garrison commanders, with political men. All of them, basically. I mean, except for the 3 very important ones here, have all got pretty poor political commanders. But that's fine. It gets them out of the way, and that's that. So let's go and let's have a quick go through here what I've done, and then we'll also seek out some of the viewer units. I haven't recruited all of them, but I've recruited the vast majority of them. Where you've requested 2 separate units, I've usually only done 1, simply because I don't want to use up all my new recruits on 12-month contracts. I hope you'll see that makes sense, because we want them on longer contracts. But anyway, let's go through this. So what we got here, starting from the top: Army of the Potomac, Army of the Shenandoah, the Western Army under McCulloch out here in the Trans-Mississippi, Missouri State Guard under Sterling Price in southwest Missouri. We're going to pull them out of Missouri. The Army of the Northwest, tiny little force under Garnett. The Hampton Division under Magruder, also tiny. Deep South Department. So this is like, I'm going to use these guys as like a bit of a recruiting troop for now, and we're going to see if we can take out the Fort of Pensacola. What's it called again? Fort Pickens. That's right, Fort Pickens. Yeah. So we'll see if we can take that out. We'll probably need to add a few more troops to here. Remember, we're still in the early stages of the war, and we've only got tiny little artillery units here. We haven't done the reform for that yet, so we can't form full batteries, just little, or we can only form batteries rather than like artillery regiments or brigades, whatever you want to call them. So 4 guns, for example, in this unit. We've next got the Army of Tennessee. That was Polk's command. Just renamed that and put Albert Sidney Johnston in charge of that for now. Then we have the Eastern Department, which for some reason spawned right over here. I've put that under Charles Clark, just a crappy commander. But he'll do for a little recruiting unit, which is going to be based around Richmond. The Western Department. So I've said like the Eastern Department, Western Department, and Trans-Mississippi Department. Basically just like little headquarter buildings. At Memphis, Tennessee, under Pemberton, again a recruiting troop. Trans-Mississippi Department at Carrollton, Arkansas. So that's under Donaldson. These guys are just recruiting troops for us. So let's crack on to viewer units next. So I had a whole bunch of requests. Let's start off with the first one here, which is going to be, let me just check, the Army of the Potomac. I have not sorted these guys into divisions yet, which I will do next. But anyway, let's go through some viewer units. Here we are. First one here. The 1st Palmetto Sharpshooters under Micah Jenkins. There you are. I haven't changed the uniforms. I wasn't sure what you wanted. Whoops. Sure you didn't want that. Let's have a look. Butternut. Olive green? We'll go with that uniform. Okay, if you don't like that, let me know, and I'm happy to change it. I don't think you specified in your request what you wanted. But yeah, so these guys are going to be in the Army of the Potomac, which we'll rename maybe the Army of Virginia or something like that. So that's those guys. Who else we got? We have got the Baton Rouge boys under Richard Taylor, as requested. Springfield rifle muskets for those boys as well. Oh, what weapons did Jenkins have? Oh, Mississippi rifles. Okay. Back to Taylor. Yeah, so Taylor's boys from Louisiana. Like, the reason I'm saying it's because they only had 9 months left on their contract, all these guys. So, I don't know. I mean, the unit won't disappear after 9 months, but it'll shrink. But we'll see. We'll deal with that when it comes to it. So Richard Taylor in charge of the Baton Rouge boys. The Queen's Own Volunteers. You weren't bothered what commander. You wanted red coats. There you are, red coats. They've got Springfield muskets for now. I'll give them some better weapons at some stage coming up. But we are a bit short on weapons at the moment. I put Withers in charge. You didn't specify a commander. I like the sound of Withers. Kind of sounds almost British, maybe. I'm not really, but... Oh, and I've just noticed that I left the caps lock off on when I made these guys. Let's just change that, because I can't stand that sort of thing. Okay, so Queen's Own Volunteers, named kind of in honour of Her Majesty, who sadly passed away a few days ago. The first Australian Janissaries. All right, I'm not sure why you picked that name, but it's a pretty cool one, I suppose. Under George Pickett, I've left them with standard uniforms. If you've got something specific in mind, do just give me a shout, and I'm happy to change that. Just leave it in a comment if you do. So that's George Pickett and his first Australian Janissaries. Nope, that's it for this one. Okay, so next viewer unit. Army of the Shenandoah under Joe Johnson. We've got the 1st Georgia Regulars under Colonel John B. Gordon. Springfield Rifle Muskets. I hope this is the right uniform. I think it is. If you don't like it, just let me know and I'll change it. So next up in the Western Department here in Tennessee, we've got 128th Les Terribles. My French is terrible. Les Terribles under Harry T. Hayes. Okay, the 128th Les Terribles under Harry T. Hayes from Louisiana. I think that's what you'd requested. They've got mixed muskets for now. I'll give them some better weapons once they're in and recruited. They're going to be 19 days. Next up, we have the Egyptian Brigade under Bushrod Johnston. Again, you didn't specify commander or region, so I've recruited them from Alabama. The Egyptian Brigade, there we are. If you don't like the colours, let me know and I'm happy to change it. I figure they'd be nice and visible with those colours on. The Les Terribles, there you are. That was the colours. Somebody had actually... Oh yes, you requested the Zouave uniform, but there is no Zouave uniform for the Confederacy, unfortunately. This is as close as I can get it. If you don't like it, again, just let me know which one. If you want to change it to a different one. I think it looks pretty cool like that, though. Alright, so that's it for the viewer units for now. I think I've got everybody who I've done. Yep, like I say, if yours isn't quite here yet, then don't worry, I'll put it in the next episode. I'm just waiting to unlock the next set of contracts, basically. I don't want to recruit millions of troops on these 12-month deals. And then let's have a quick go through the forces. Okay, so we'll start the Trans-Mississippi. This looks like Donaldson's going to have a lot of troops. He's not. These guys here, right, so Donaldson, as you can see here, men, 1,050. So we've got Buckner with Fort Gibson garrison arriving there. These are all just little tiny garrisons from Texas, 50 men. Again, Fitzhugh, 50 men. Kimball, 50 men. Haskell, 50 men. Mendenhall, 50 men again. These are going to be combined into one brigade, mixed with Evander Law's guys from Arkansas, from Fort Smith Garrison. Oh, I missed these guys. Robertson's German Raiders. So, I mean, you wanted German Raiders. You did ask for a commander, but he's not in the game, unfortunately. And I haven't created him. I don't know if I can create him in hindsight and add him into this campaign. If I can, I'll do that. I'll have a look once I've finished this. But I've put him under Jerome B. Robertson. He's a good commander here, as you can see. Decent stats. He'll get much better. And these boys are from Texas, but they are Robertson's German Raiders. Apologies for missing those guys out. I didn't write them down on my sheet of paper. Okay, so these guys are from there. They've got mixed cavalry weapons at the moment. I'll replace those with something better. But again, yeah, so we're going to combine these guys into one brigade. So it's still going to be a small brigade, so 300 guys. You know, it's going to be a 500-man brigade, but it might be a usable force out here in the Trans-Mississippi, and I figure they're better off here than sitting in those forts kind of wasting away, because it's unlikely the Union's going to make a push into Texas from the north. I just can't see it. So let's carry on. Army of the Potomac. Okay, so now these boys here, what I like to do with these is I like to make them into divisions right from the start. It makes sense to me, so we're going to make... Let's start off with 2 divisions. Not Hardy. I like him in the west. Bonham. I like Bonham. Jenkins, your first Palmetto sharpshooters. I'm going to put them on the Longstreet. Let's put Withers, Queen's Own Volunteers in the Longstreet also, and Pickett's Boys. We'll do Taylor as well. So Longstreet's division is full of viewer units. That's pretty cool. Let's make ourselves an artillery division as well. Not in the Loring. Now let's have a look. Maybe we can find an artillery guy to put in charges. I don't know if it actually makes any difference for the division commander or not, but, you know, we might as well. Let's go with Winder. So these are both 6-pounders. We'll get into some weapons upgrades after we've sorted the forces out. So this looks a bit more organised. We've got 2 divisions with 4 brigades of infantry in each. So that's the Army of the Potomac. Army of the Shenandoah. Same deal. We're going to do the same sort of thing here. 2 divisions. I'm going to put one under Jackson. So let's replace Jackson. We'll turn off the artillery. Let's give that to Loring. He's a commander I like, and he gets better. Hughie, no thank you. Walker is fine for a division commander. I like Walker. Okay, so let's give that to Thomas Jackson, who will probably turn into an absolute beast. First Georgia Regulars under Gordon. Let's put you in Jackson's division. Nice. Frost can handle the artillery for us. Okay, so now then we've got a little conundrum here. We've only got 334 cavalry in this unit. I mean, that's not really much point having a division commander, I'm sure you're going to say, but we will have a division commander because it makes control of the guys easier on the field. However, let's make the division commander Jeb Stewart. I'm going to put Fitzhugh Lee in charge of this regiment. And then we can make... Where is he? Stewart. I want to make Stewart the commander. I'm probably just missing him. There he is. I was looking at the colonels. So he's got his tiny little division. We'll build this out a bit more, obviously. So that's the Army of the Shenandoah. Tiny, but we will work on that. Western Army I'm going to leave as it is. Missouri State Guard I'm going to organise into 2 divisions. DHL, nah, I'm going to keep him for something else. Let's give that to Cheatham. Rains is terrible, but he is a political commander, and he does get better. Ooh, he's terrible as well. Cawthorne, let's get rid of him. Let's find ourselves a cavalry commander suitable for that command. Richard Anderson's good, but I want to keep him for something better. Let's go with Bowen. Bowen's alright. Oh, there's Bledsoe's artillery as well. This was from Randall. You requested this. Sorry, I missed another one I've missed out. But he's out here. I've just renamed it. He was already in charge of an artillery battalion. However, you've requested the 12-pound Napoleons. We haven't got any, so I've given 12-pound field gun for now. Once we've got Napoleons, I will upgrade those guys for you, Randall. Okay, so 2 tiny little divisions. See, these brigades are titchy. 800 men, 600 men, and 600 men. McBride, 600 men, and Waitman with 1,300. And then Bledsoe's guns. So then we have Bowen's cavalry. I'm just going to leave them as that for now. Army of the Northwest, they're going to stay exactly as they are. Tolliver and Pegram, yeah, they're fine. And 6-pound field guns. Hampton Division, they can stay as they are. Ruggles there. Deep South, they're going to just stay like that. Army of Tennessee, we will build up, but not just yet. We'll do that once we get some more recruits in here. They'll all go into the Army of Tennessee. And the Trans-Mississippi boys, obviously, will go into the Trans-Mississippi armies. So there's that. Let's have a quick look before we do anything else. We'll have a look at where the front lines sit. This is where we start. So we control parts of the Indian Territory, tiny little section of Kansas, just the bottom section of Missouri, which we're probably going to give up Missouri, to be fair, to start with. I don't feel like we need to suck lots of troops into there, which is something that can happen quite easily. What else we got then? So Tennessee is firmly in our control here with 85 support. The Army of Tennessee at Nashville, and then we've got the troops recruiting at the Western Department in Memphis. We'll bulk out the 3 forts here: Fort Donaldson, Fort Henry. If I can click on them. Well, anyway, it's Fort Donaldson, Fort Henry, and Fort Hyman. Click on them without zooming in. But anyway, they're the 3 forts, and I'll build out their defences somewhat. Virginia is nicely under our control, as you would expect at this stage of the war, of course. Western Virginia also, we've got troops here. Oh, this is the HQ, just moving across. We've got the guys at Beverly here, Army of the Northwest, so that's cool. Army of the Shenandoah, they're going to make their way across towards Manassas. In fact, we might just set that away now. Because I suspect we're going to have a fight at Manassas pretty much as soon as we get started with the next episode. or this episode, depending on how long it takes to get through everything. But we're almost ready to get started. The Hampton Division, I'm going to leave them here for now. We'll stick some more troops in there eventually, and we'll see if we can take Fort Monroe on the peninsula and get rid of those Union troops. All right, so the next thing to look at is our finances. So you can see we already haven't got any money, so that's not good. But we do need to make some investments here. We really do. Wealth below average. That's public wealth. Economy is expansion, but that won't last. Let's go and put some money into the military. High. It's important. Industry, I'm happy to leave that on 2.5 million for now. Agriculture, let's put a little bit more into that. The economy. Politics is fine as is. Diplomacy up a little bit, not too much, but I want to work on intervention if we can. If we can do it. I mean, it might not be possible. So this is how we're going to roll here. So our interest rate's sitting at 8%. That's not good. National debt's at 40 million. This is all going to increase like substantially, as it always does. But I mean, just look at the difference it's starting out. It's mental. Anyway, so we've definitely got a challenge on our hands here. Policies. Now, this is an important start here. What are we going to go with? And for me, it's a no-brainer, really. The first one, for me, it's got to be Militia Act 2 to get those 2-year contracts, which then makes your recruiting much more viable. Let's go ahead and go straight into this. But then, let's have a little think about what else we're going to be doing here. We're going to probably do the Regulars Act at some point. Get ourselves a little regular force, but we do lose a little bit of military experience for that. We'll work down the diplomacy route. We'll also, we'll do all sorts of things here. We'll work on King Cotton too. Finances need to be worked on, that's for sure. The Confederacy always struggles for money. It's just the way it is, as it was historically, of course. Conscription, now I usually go for this, but I might steer clear of that for a little while, simply because it hits our national morale. But it does have lots of benefits for the South to open up conscription, so we will work down that route as well. Projects, now this is a huge one. What do we work on? In an ideal world, I would like British rifles as soon as possible, but it requires 5 million of diplomacy funding. That's expensive. So weapons wise, what are we going to work on here? That's the big question. That's like it sets up the whole route of how you're going to work your military, really. I love the British rifles, but it's an expensive project. Cast artillery is one I'm leaning towards. I didn't take that in the last campaign, but I think cast artillery is absolutely fine. If we take cast artillery, it gets us access to the James rifle, which is okay. But most importantly, the 12-pound Napoleons, which, is pretty damn good. Austrian rifles, again, it's another decent one. It's fairly cheap. It's half the price of the British rifles. Gets us access to 2 rifles. It gets us the Augustin musket, which is it's pretty much a reboard musket, but with a bayonet, so it's not that bad. And the Lorenz rifle, which is a decent weapon. It's equivalent to the Springfield rifle musket all day long. Artillery reform to get us bigger batteries. That's another one we'll have to do, because these tiny little batteries of artillery are a pain in the butt. Cavalry reform as well. The tiny little regiments of cavalry we have at the moment won't be sufficient. So yeah, cast artillery is one we'll probably be doing. And it only costs $1 million. Confederate guns. Now, the Williams gun, I was kind of derisive of when I first thought about it and first did it. But actually, I did really quite like it. And you can also get the 12-pound iron Napoleons, which are not quite as good as the proper Napoleons, but, I mean, they're not bad. They'll do the job. So possibly Confederate guns could be where we can go. Confederate rifles, again, pretty damn good. We're going to get the Fayetteville rifle and the Richmond rifle, both of which are as good as the 1855 Springfield rifles, that's for sure. French weapons, I've never had those, but again, it's very expensive, $3.5 million. I'm sure they're good weapons, but, it's expensive to go in. Legacy rifles is one I always like to have, because I do actually really like those weapons. With legacy rifles, you get access to the Mississippi rifle, which is a great weapon. And the Plains rifle, which is, it's okay. It doesn't come with a bayonet, which is a bit of a shitter, but the Plains rifle's good. But the Mississippi rifle's awesome. So, possibly, it's one we'll go for. Medium-range carbines, again, very good, but expensive. Organisation reform, not too bad, but it's $3.5 million, which is expensive. Powered rifles, very good weapons, but we need to focus on one lot of artillery. Reboard muskets, underrated. They're only $1 million as well, so I don't know. We can go towards that as well. Springfield rifles, I didn't know we could actually get those. I'm not sure if we can get those because we didn't take the starting the starting policy. I'm not sure. If we can get Springfield rifles, maybe that's one to go for. Because they only actually cost 750 to open up. So if we can, it's definitely possible we'll go for that. So that's the kind of plan. Well, I know it's all over the place, the plan, but, you know, that is the way we're going to go with it. In terms of the civil side of things, we'll be working on farm mechanization. You might be thinking, what the hell? But it's actually a really good one. Obviously, it increases farm output substantially, but it also gives you 10% more volunteers. So that's awesome per level. So you can really bump that up quite nicely. What else have we got here that I like? Propaganda is a good one to keep up your support in the States. We'll be working on that. Plantation mechanization, simply for extra output and extra money. Good one. And we'll be working on send envoys because we want to try and work on foreign intervention, European intervention. See how that goes. There's also a route down here which gets you closer to foreign intervention, to the French intervention. I keep saying foreign intervention. But it's like, it's way down the line here. So support Mexican intervention. That's then going to increase your European relations substantially. Okay. So I think I've talked enough in terms of what else we've got going on. So what we need here, we need hospitals to start with. What hospitals have we got? So we've got one hospital in Richmond, Virginia. Factories, it's something the South is really lacking in. So this is the total sum of our factories, which is not great, but they are expensive. Markets, we've got 2 markets, Charleston and New Orleans. Now again, that's not good. Lumber mills, a handful, that's not good either. Like, the South is really lacking in industry, which, you know, that's the way it is. Foundries, we've got 3 foundries, so one at Richmond, one at Nashville, and one at Memphis. Ironworks, what we got? It's a little better for the ironworks. Farms, a fair few farms, but probably not enough. Plantations, I mean, we've got millions of plantations. That is one thing we have got lots of. It's our ports. Mines, another thing that we are really lacking in, so like lead mines and stuff. We only have 1, I think. Niter caves, again, just a 1. So not much stuff. Prison camps, do we start with any? We don't. So that's something I'm going to do straight away because I don't want any prisoners going back into the pool for the Union. So let's go ahead and do that. So to build a prison camp, going to cost us some money, which I haven't got. Let's get the workforce thing on here. This is looking like a likely place for it. Southern Alabama. Actually, no, let's do it here. It looks nice and dense there. Northeast of Griffin, Georgia. So we're going to go to federal buildings. We're going to get the prison camp up. It's 3.8 million. Let's get that built here. I do think it's important to have a couple of prison camps. So that's going to be built here, just northeast of Griffin. We could probably do with another hospital. I'm not sure where yet, though, to be honest, because I'm not sure where the fighting's going to be thickest. But, I mean, we've got one in Richmond that should help cover us in Virginia. Probably we're going to need one around Nashville, and probably going to need one around Carrollton, but I'm not sure. So we're ready to start the campaign here, but I'm going to press play. We're going to get going. Civil War. Further southern states secede. Confederate armies on the move. Europeans reluctant to take sides. New campaign objectives added. So as you can see, we're starting off fairly close together. And that's fine. Actually, something I haven't touched on is the Navy. I know I just said let's get started, but we haven't even looked at the Navy. Fleets. So we've got a handful of ships in harbour. CSS Virginia is under construction. We've got a couple of steamers here. I mean, it's nothing really that's going to do anything at all. We're building a squadron at New Orleans here. Some of the ships are still getting put together. But there's not much in the way of a Confederate Navy. The Charleston squadron's got pretty much nothing in it. Let's put a couple of ships in that. Mobile squadron again. I mean, what's the point of that? Texas Maritime Department. So we could maybe put some in here, see if we can contest something in the Texas waters, but I mean, I doubt it. But let's see how it goes. So that's the Navy. There's not much to the Confederate Navy, especially not in this game, where there's not really a lot happening with navies, to be honest. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to move up the Western Army. I'm going to pull the Missouri State Guard back into here. Towards Fayetteville. We'll build a depot at Fayetteville. This is going to be our little kind of hub in the Trans-Mississippi. So we've got a depot at Nashville already. And that's great. Oh, and let's just pause it a second. Because the Union are already on the march. So we need Joe Johnson to hurry his butt up, basically, and get up there. I was going to give him double time orders, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let's have a quick go through these weapons. So mixed muskets, let's get rid of those. Springfield muskets. They're not much better, but they are a little better. Springfield rifles. Alright, so we're armed a little better here. Not amazing, but a little better. And let's hope the Army of Shenandoah can come down here, otherwise this is going to be a really hard fight. And he's already recruiting up to 42,000 men, so this is what I'm talking about. The AI is very, very aggressive, even though I turned the aggression down. Oh, you've got to be joking. So the question is, do we fight 18,000 men against 32,000? Without Joe Johnson's support? Because he's like an inch outside of there. I don't think so. I think we're going to withdraw. Just look how much faster they're moving than us. I mean, it's just mental. So he's driven our armies apart here. It's an absolute joke, really, because they were in range of each other. Alright, so this is it now. We're going to fight. God knows how this is going to go. So we're slightly outnumbered. But we're kicking the war off as it did historically. It's the 9th of July, 1861, and it's the Battle of Bull Run. But, I mean, we're going to start with Johnson on the field, and our larger force are going to have to arrive. This is just not good. It wasn't a good start. The aggression from the AI is mental. The speed that the AI's army marches is crazy. Yep, so two green armies going to fight each other here. We're outnumbered by about 5,000 men, and we're waiting for the majority of our force to arrive. It said 2 hours on the campaign map. Will it be 2 hours on the tactical map? I doubt it. 4 hours. From Warrenton, where's that? Is that down here? And we're attacking the enemy. Okay, that's just not good. Oh, Warrenton's here, okay. So this is a nightmare scenario for us, really. So the only good thing for us is that we are attacking, which means we can hopefully wait. Let's get started and let's see what happens here. 4 hours away for our reinforcements, so they're going to arrive about 8 p.m. Just going to move Stuart's cavalry forward to have a look, see if we can see anything by moving them to Henry Hill. We've got the 1st Georgia regulars here. That's the only viewer unit, I think. I'm ready for a very tough fight. I always seem to find myself in offensive situations. When I watch other people play this, it seems like they hardly ever do, but I always seem to. But anyway, that's beside the point. Never mind. So yeah, let's get our reinforcements in. Let's move up and let's see what's happening. We want a minor victory. I'm not sure how that can possibly be. Our morale's higher because we're fighting on our own territory. Okay, so we haven't spotted them or anything. Maybe if we move forward to this hill we could, but let's try it. You can't get scouts out of regiments. Oh, there we are. Yeah, so we've spotted them. No defences set up, it seems, which is slightly odd. I would have thought they'd have defences up, but, you know, they haven't. They do have skirmishers out. The main challenge is going to be timing our attack properly. I wonder where the rest of his forces are. They over the river? Or are they further back? We'll find out. Like 1 hour away, so we might just get them starting to deploy. Sunset will be around 2100. It's now almost 20. Alright, there we are. They're starting to arrive. Let's slow this down slightly. It'll take them a while to get on the field, of course. And don't forget, it's everyone's first fight as well, so, you know, things will be tricky. Alright, so it's the end of the day. Oh, we can actually deploy up to here because we had Stuart's division up there, and that is not something I expected. Or I could, of course, pretend that it was the plan all along. Let me show you it was not. Okay, so this is going to be a real good standoff, I think. Well, I hope. I don't know if they'll change their position. I mean, I'm assuming they probably will. All right, and so I've set up some defences here. I don't know if we're going to be able to use them. I've put some artillery up on this hill. Our guys under Beauregard are lined up on our left side. Johnson's corps is mostly on the right. We'll see if we can swing them around a little and see what happens. We'll see how this goes. Let's get started with day 2. They've moved over the ford. Okay, that makes sense. It makes sense, but it's not what I wanted. Okay, let's move these boys around. I can't help but think it was a slightly foolish move from him, because we should be able to take the objective. I'm going to move the guns forward onto the high ground here. We're also going to move forward Frost's artillery division. So I think he's actually, he's constructed a pontoon bridge here. Now he's crossing the river with some skirmishers, I think. I mean, I don't know what the hell he's doing here. We are taking some casualties though. It's a little alarming. Okay, some skirmishers out from the Palmetto sharpshooters. Let's get some guys out from the Queen's Own Volunteers as well. I know they've got Springfield muskets, that's not. Let's get the 1st Australian Janissaries out. Skirmishers out. Let's go. It's shaping up to be a bit of an odd first battle. I don't mind that at all. I don't know what he's doing here with these skirmishers though. Very strange. But we are taking artillery fire from the 3rd US Artillery. So the war's going to open up with some skirmishing. Micah Jenkins' boys firing the first volleys of the fight. What was the purpose of this? He marched his boys over there to this side and then marched them back across the ford. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Well, it cost him a handful of men. And really made no sense. Island Ford is taken. So we've taken this now. He's got to attack us. Let's move our infantry forward somewhat. Absolutely bizarre fight. Looks like McDowell's here by himself over the river.
Burnside skirmishers here fighting us, but pulling back now. Routed. I don't really understand what the purpose of this was or what they were hoping to achieve. Alright, so why did they do this? Just gonna go and harass this artillery. Getting these boys to build some breastworks. So he's moving a full brigade up. We'll get Jackson's division up here to see if we can tear him a new arsehole. He's trying to counterattack here with full brigades against our skirmishers. Okay, so let's slow this down because this is obviously going to mean we need to pull our boys back. Did cause some trouble with that artillery, caused him 25 casualties. But Holmes' skirmishers were broken. But we want to take on the 1st Brigade. 1st Georgia Regulars, you're going to see some fighting here. Oh, they've got rifles, okay. So we're going to have to advance a bit closer with Kirby Smith. John B. Gordon's in the fight here. We've got their division commanders just riding around, of course. Now remember, this is everyone's first combat, so if people run here, that's, you know, it's to be expected. 100 and odd casualties already for Kirby Smith. Advancing into the fire. Driving back this 1st Brigade. Getting some nice experience for these boys building the parapets. One of the bonuses of actually doing that. He's bringing more troops across to help this fight. We're going to send skirmishers to do some more harassing. Almost 1,000 casualties for this 1st Brigade, and they're still just fighting, not bothered at all. There they are, gone. Okay. Oh, Kirby Smith is not doing good here. Pull back. Do not break. Nice and slow and steady. Okay, here we go. Oh, he broke and damn it, man. Yeah, we are. Full brigades coming across. Ewell, get into this. Holmes as well. Push up, son. Gordon's boys firing over the river into their flank. Taking a bit of artillery fire, but I think they're fine. A bit of a questionable performance again from the AI here. I mean, what he's playing at, I don't know. I think if Kirby Smith had been armed with rifles, he would have done a much better job there. That was a real nice job from Gordon's boys here, the 1st Georgia Regulars. Blasting away over this stream or river, whatever you want to call it. Queen's Own volunteers, let's get these boys into the fight. Let's get Richard Taylor's boys into these woods. Hopefully give that cavalry something to think about. Pickett's detachment is running. They were exposed out in the flank. Come on, Pickett, get up here. Into the fight. David R. Jones has arrived now as well. with us and the Queen's Own Volunteers in the fight here. Richard Taylor's guys. Oh, nice. And the 3rd Brigade is broken. We're going to push on with this. We're going to keep on going. We're being very aggressive here. Got to watch it for the artillery, though. Queen's Own Volunteers going to charge his artillery. Get in there, boys. Not doing a lot, to be fair here. Oh, there we go. We've taken them. Excellent. Bit of a disjointed fight here, but it's been okay. Oh, we captured some of his parrots. Awesome. Gonna send Richard Taylor's guys out, see what we can capture there. Let's press on with the aggression. Heavy fighting on the right still. Here we come, a Union counter thrust. How close do you want to get with us? £12 Napoleons. Excellent. Whoa, where's he going? No, no, no. Who's wounded? With us. Oh, damn it. Whoa, don't follow them. Don't. What the hell's he doing? They're going to break. How's the 6th Brigade broken? Oh, and they're broken now as well. Well, maybe things weren't going quite as smoothly as I thought they were. We've got some guys broken all over the place here. Have we perhaps been a little too aggressive? Yep, Ewell's done as well. I think we might actually have to pull back. As in, like, the army might have to pull back. We have screwed this up. Don't keep advancing. What are you doing? Everyone breaks when you withdraw with them. It's just not good. I think we're done for here. I do think we're done for. Pull back. With us boys have at least reformed. Gordon's almost out of ammunition. First Australian Janissaries in the fight here. Phew, what a fight. So they're still dug in really well here. I mean, I think I'm not going to push this attack. It's up. Like, we're on the defensive here. We're supposed to be anyway. Let our boys rest a little. Hit this 4th Brigade. Barnett B's boys in the action. Australian Janissaries holding their own. Incredibly long, hard fight this, especially for the first battle. Devastating casualties for both sides. I mean, way more than died or wounded at Bull Run in real. Don't. What's he got going on now? He's throwing the volunteer brigade forward. They're going to cross. Looks like they are. I'm not sure how much more Gordon's boys can handle. Bearing in mind they only have 12 rounds left as well. They're pushing forward again. 900 casualties already in this first brigade, and they're coming forward again. Be nice if some of these boys would reform. Jubal early, come on, you'll be fine. Your resilience is fine. Let's go up and around. Bringing forward Fitzhugh Lee with his 300 cavalrymen, Maynard rifles. I mean, carbines even, see what they can do. Down to 9 rounds with Gordon's boys. First Brigade lost 1,200 men, 1,000 left standing, but they're fine. Ah, broken all of a sudden. Okay, great. Yeah, Gordon's almost done for, no ammunition. Damn it, Barnett B's wounded. Thing is with these guys, when they get wounded, they stay wounded for a long time usually. So he's going to be out of action for ages. Patrick withdrawn. One of his artillery units. Don't pursue. Do not pursue. They're out withdrawn at last. Whew. This was a crazy fight. This is the most insane first fight on this game that I've ever had. And it's a major victory. Stay in the field, Bonnet B. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Gordon's boys did the best I thought here. They did an excellent job over here. Tough fighting all round. Very, very hard. They were dug in really well here. They didn't take the bait and come and attack us, even though really they should have done, but you know, it's just one of them things. We got fairly busted up ourselves, but it was okay. Let's speed this up. Some crazy casualty numbers. More like Ultimate General casualty numbers, actually, than this game. Alright, 4,500 losses for us. All his guns and 7,500 troops lost. Major Confederate victory. That's a nice way to start the war off, I think. But yeah, that was a bloodbath. Didn't quite go to plan to start with our withdrawing and counter-marching, and then end up with Johnston being on the field by himself to start with. But it turned out okay in the end. Brigadier General Frost has become famous. Really? He commanded our artillery division. I mean, as far as I'm aware, he didn't really do much, but, you know, I hope none of these guys were defamed. It was the first battle. That should be taken into consideration. I won't be replacing unit commanders here unless I really feel like I need to, but I don't think so. Glorious victory at Manassas Junction. Army of Northeastern Virginia fleeing in panic. General Frost becomes a national hero. Captain Patrick loses face. So, yeah, we've captured 1,000 enemy soldiers, but they've been paroled because we've got no camps, remember? We're still building those. We captured 4,000 rifles and 12 guns. Obviously lost 4,500 men. 668 killed, 818 missing, the rest wounded. Morale's confidence, supply situation mediocre. So, not bad, really. Victory in Virginia. Where's Patterson? Nowhere to be seen. There he is, up here. Skulking in Maryland. Burning down. Are they burning down our depot? Did they capture the depot? If they have, then that is definitely a problem. Because this is an awesome depot here at Manassas, but we'd have to build a new one, that's for sure. Is he on the march? He's on the march with the Army of Occupation as well. Very aggressive from the AI. Crazy aggressive, actually. We've got no chance of stopping him with the Army of the Northwest. Yeah, so we're going to have to recruit some more troops. We'll have to shift some guys around. And let's have a quick look at the weapons, see what we captured there. We've got some Springfield rifle muskets. We've got 5,000 of those now. We must have captured about 4,000 of them. I know it said we captured 4,000 rifles, but that doesn't always mean that they are rifles. They're often just muskets. We got a few Napoleons for them. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, that's not bad. So let's just have a quick look here. Bledsoe's artillery. I said I would give them Napoleons when we had them, and I think have we got enough? 4? Yep, let's do that. They are Randall. Napoleons for these boys. So a quick look at the units here. So the 1st Palmetto sharpshooters suffered 41 casualties, inflicted 599. Withers got wounded. I'm going to have to replace Withers, which sucks because I like Withers. Good Brian. There you go. Another good commander. Ooh, so these guys did it not quite as well. Suffered 441 casualties and inflicted 315. So held their own, but, you know, not as good, but still not bad. We're going to have these guys armed better as well. We'll have to get them some rifles. I'll do that now, actually. Pickett's boys, 1st Australian Janissaries. Let's check these guys out. Suffered 357 casualties, but inflicted 907. Nice. Or the Baton Rouge boys, 179 casualties suffered and 493 inflicted. So that's Richard Taylor's boys. He's already improved his stats as well. Excellent. I think Jenkins' stats have gotten better as well. I fixed this, but it stays in there on the commander history, so they're not actually like this. The Shenandoah force. Let's have a look at Gordon. I was impressed with these boys. 1,444 casualties inflicted. They lost 533 men, so it was a hard-fought victory, but that's impressive. These guys did really well. 2,000 of them left in the field as well. 378 wounded. Gordon's stats have shot up. Look how good he is now already. He was wounded, so we're going to replace him. We'll give that Hughie. Fairly even there. 397 inflicted, suffered, and 477 inflicted. Loring, again, even 450 and 473. They had some hard fighting in those woods. This was impressive, Gordon. Kirby Smith suffered 500, lost 492, so not amazing, but not bad either. They were outgunned with their Springfield muskets. Alright, so that was a fun first battle. It was pretty damn cool, actually. I hope you did enjoy this first episode, and if you're new here, remember to subscribe. There'll be new episodes throughout the week. Probably I'll see if I get 2 or 3 episodes a week on the go of this campaign, and I enjoyed this first one. I hope you enjoyed watching it. It was a little frustrating in that battle, the way it turned out, but it was all good in the end. It was a tough one. We'll have to recruit a few more guys in, but we're working on Militia Act 2, which is when I'll do the full recruiting. I mean, we'll have to recruit a few little units to bolster up this Eastern Force, because McDowell's force, or whoever they put in charge next, is going to be up to 37,000. So, you know, we're going to have to deal with that. And if they burn that depot down, we'll have to reconstruct that. But if you're new here, why not check out the channel? Why not subscribe? Maybe watch some of the earlier series of Grand Tactician. I think, like I say, this is like the 5th or the 6th campaign. We've got some Union campaigns. We've had some CSA 61 starts and 64 starts. So if you like this sort of thing, you're bound to enjoy one of those. So go and check it out. And hopefully I'll see you around for the next one. We've got a Discord channel on the go. That's Bramborough and myself. We've set up a little Discord channel where we chat about history and books and Grand Tactician, of course, and other stuff. So why not head on over to there? There'll be a link in the description. And there'll be a link in a pinned comment as well to take you to the Discord channel. It'll be awesome to see some more of you guys there and have a chat with you. I know lots of you guys have been following the channel for a while and you like following the campaigns along. So if you want to come for a chat in Discord, go right ahead and do so. As always, thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing, liking the video. I appreciate that. I hope you're having a great day, whatever you're doing, and join me for part 2. Ta-ra for now.